The new Vegeta leader from the FB02 set has the ability to activate 2 of your energy at the end of your turn, essentially making it so you always have event options. But is it worth using? Let's talk about it. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. My name is Mobby, and today I'll be giving you my personal deck list for the Vegeta FB02 leader that I'm currently using. We're going to talk about the leader, the abilities, the event cards, the utility, the attackers, and the overall playstyle. So let's go ahead and get started. Please like and subscribe as we upload more duels and deck profiles. So let's begin with the leader. This is Vegeta, and this is a mono yellow leader with 15,000 power. When attacking, you're going to be drawing a card. You're going to be awakening at 4 life, drawing and flipping. Then you're going to have 20,000 power. When attacking, you're still going to be drawing a card, which is great, but at the end of your turn here, you switch 2 of your rest mode energy to active mode. So not much to say here about the ability, other than, hey, you want to have some sort of counter events that you can use in your hand in order to make use of this ability. So let's first of all talk about the attackers. There is a good amount in here, and we're going to start from the lowest to the highest. This is a Son Goku from the FB02, one of the new ones. This is a fairly vanilla character. He does have some synergy with a card or two here, which I'll talk about in a second. But the main reason why this Goku is in this deck is because it's pretty okay stats. 10,000. It's really good in this deck to just have a lot of counters, and there's a ton here. So good 10,000 ones. We're running 3 of these Gokus. Next up, it's going to be the Friezas from the last set. And basically, this is the Frieza that when you attack, you can self-awaken. Then you can choose up to a character that's 3 or less and switch it to rest mode. So it has a pretty good utility. And interesting enough, it has 2 different abilities. You freaking self-awaken and you rest somebody. But I guess you do sacrifice a little bit of power. But once again, it's the same as the Goku one. The only thing that's missing is the extra 5 counter on this one. So it's a pretty strong card overall. You should run a bunch of these. Next up, this is the Nice card from the last set as well. 2010 blocker. Now you must realize this is the on play self-awaken. This is a mandatory awaken. We are running 4 of these simply because if you find these out early game, you definitely want to drop them, and they're really good counters as well. So as you're probably going to see, this deck has a lot of self-awakening effects, and you want to pretty much awaken as soon as possible. You want to do this with a good majority of Dragon Ball leaders. There are some caveats, but for the most part, self-awakening quickly with a lot of cards in your hand before the opponent's able to awaken, and you can establish a board, and they have to spend more resources to attack your high-level character is, usually a good thing. Next up, this is the new Vegeta 325. When attacking, if you have a rest mode Son Goku card, draw a card. Now, it doesn't specify, what level it has to be, so that's why we're running a couple of these vanillas for a little early game pressure, and if you're able to get some attacks in with this Vegeta, more card draw is amazing, so we're running 3 of these. Next up, it's another Vegeta from the same sets. So 325, permanent on the opponent's turn. All of your rest mode characters cannot be KO'd by your opponent's skills. Pretty powerful defensive ability. Then on play, add up to 1 card from your life to your hand, self-awakening, then play up to 1 battle card with 1 or less from your hand. So with the secondary ability here, there's 8 cards that work with this, the utility cards, which we'll talk about in a bit. So yeah, this is a great card in general, and it has a counter. Alright, next up it's Son Gohan Adolescence. This is from the new set as well. 325-5. On play, choose up to 1 of your opponent's rest cards, and it can't be switched to active mode during your opponent's turn. Next turn. So this is a really strong one because it says the next turn, meaning if they have any sort of things to make it stand, it does not activate. This is really good at just keeping things really low. It's basically really good for countering another yellow deck, specifically at the moment, like the other Frieza deck or the cooler deck that brings stuff back up. It's pretty good. Or if you somehow get to a late game with green and you're messing with Broly, it's really good. Next up, it is Son Goku. Sweet. Alright, so this one is 425-10. On play and when attacking, this is probably one of the MVPs of the deck. Choose up to one of your opponent's rest mode, and it can't switch to active mode during your character's next turn. Very strong, pretty much almost the same effect as this. And it is another Goku card, which means it works with the Vegeta that allows you to draw cards with a rested Goku on the field. It might not be a crazy powerhouse, but it's 10,000 counter, which is insane. So you can run like 3 to 4 in this deck if you want, and it's just really good. It's a good suppressing. You know, you might not be able to kill opponents' cards right away, but man, they're really going to feel the pressure if they can't do anything with it. So running a couple of these. Then Golden Frieza, the tried and true. This card is just really good in general, even though there's no searching in this deck. If you get it, you get it. 535, very powerful, but at the cost of no counter. Has double strike, and then when attacking, choose one of your opponent's characters, and it can't switch to active mode during their next turn. So it's basically, there's 3 cards in here that, you know, make it so they can't come back, and you're just stalling them out, which is the Sun Gohan Adolescence, the Sun Goku 4-drop, and the 5-drop Frieza here. It's really crazy good. So of course you're running a bunch of these for your late game. And then we're going to be running the new Golden Frieza. Again, this is a 6-drop for 4,000 though. Permanent. Your opponent's battle cards with a cost of 5 or more are played in rest mode. This card is insanely powerful, and we're testing it out a couple of these. Not sure how useful it is. You know, it really depends on the opponent's deck. Maybe they're not going to run a lot of 5s in general, but it's pretty good. And also on play, choose up to one of your opponent's rest mode cards and KO it. So best case scenario, you played on your turn and you're able to KO somebody, attack somebody, and then it's really hard for them to get rid of it if they don't already have a very high power character on the field. So pretty good. So these are your attackers. Now we're going to talk about the utilities. We'll talk about the supers. Nothing special here. We're just using Nail, Namekian. Nothing crazy there. Next up, here's the other 8 utility cards that are in this deck here. And remember, these can be summoned by the Vegeta that summons a 1-cost character. Here's going to be Sorbet, 1/5/5 on play, draw card. This is just really good. If you know, there are some decks where a lot of people don't run these cards, but basically this just helps with a lot of sort of consistency. You basically play this card for 1, which is very, very low cost. You put it on the field, you draw an extra card, and then you hopefully get more stuff that you need. And at the very best, it's going to be a 5k counter that you could use for attacking or defending. So running 4 of these. And once again, it works with Vegeta. So perfect. Now, the MVP utility of the deck, the new card from the FB02 set as well, it's Bulma. 1/5/5. So this one you're going to be activating during battle, whether it's on your turn or the opponent's turn. Switch this character to rest mode. Then you add 1 card to your up to 1 card, then choose one. So she's also a self-awakening, optional. Then you get to choose one of these, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with 4 or less, and switch it to rest mode. So if your opponent's rushing, you know, you're gonna be able to do something here with a little Bulma. But also, if you're on the offensive, if you have a rest battle card with 3 or more, draw a card. So this character is very versatile, so good, and it was, of course, thematically made for that Vegeta card that's supposed to drop out of 1. So very, very powerful. Now, let's move over to the event cards. These things are crazy. So this is the reason why you're going to be running this deck in the first place. If you're not using as many events as you are, don't even bother playing this leader and play like another yellow leader. But yeah, this is what you're going to be doing. So you're going to be ending your turn, and you're going to have 2 Dawn, One Piece. You have 2 energy come back as active. Either you can use it as a bluff, or you can actually have some cards in your hand for them to use. So at the moment of this recording, there's a decent amount of battle cards, but these are the only ones that I feel like using in this deck. So here's Death Ball from the last set, 1 cost. Activate battle, choose one of your leader or characters for 15,000. Then choose up to opponent's battle with 3 or less and switch it to rest mode. Pretty good. We're running just 2 of these. And then we're going to talk about the new card that came out in this set as well, called Time Rebound or Rewound. Alright, so it's an Angel card. 1 cost, activate during a battle, but only during your opponent's turn, which is where you primarily want to use your effect anyway, so that's good. Choose your leader or up to your one battle card and gets 20,000 for 1 cost. That 20,000, that's really good. Then choose up to one of your basic battle cards and switch it to active. So this is amazing. It combos a lot with many cards. With many cards that you have. And the really important thing here to note is that there's no restriction Doesn't have to be a 1 cost, doesn't have to be a 6 or low. It's just any one of your rested cards, which is very good. A lot of things in here, especially like Bulma, you can activate it multiple times during the turn. And if in one of the duels I had a Bulma rested, and then I activated Whis to save another character that was being attacked. I brought Bulma up, then I went ahead and rested her again during that same encounter in order to draw another card. So she is a big threat in the field, and she kind of acts as a semi-blocker. A lot of your utilities, besides like the draw ones, but they have a good presence on the field, will act as a threat on the board for them to remove with abilities and stuff. And if they do, they're not using it on your attackers. So this is a very, very amazing card. I recommend you run 4 of these. Now, we're going to use Blue Power Awakening, another one from the new FB02 sets. This is 2, so it works as well with how much energy you're going to have ready to go. So activate main. You can use this during your main phase, and then KO a 6 rested character, or during battle on your opponent's turn or your turn. Choose your leader or up to one of your battle cards. It gets 25,000. So it doesn't have a crazy ability during the battle effect, but 25 is a lot and they might not expect it. So we're running 4 of these. So the deck breakdown is there are essentially 4 block cards in this deck, which are the Nizes. But as mentioned, there's a lot of utility cards that you have that they're going to want to get rid of. The Bulma and the Vegeta that keeps on drawing cards if you have a Goku on the field. There are 14 cards in here total that will let you self-awaken. Now, I'll be honest, this isn't the most craziest awakening thing. It's not going to give you more life. It's not going to power you up or flood the board. But still, in general, awakening early is very good. So there's 14 in here. Now, I think what I've come up here is a good spread of defensive cards as well. There are 10 extra cards of the event cards for you to use with your leader ability. There are 6 0 counter cards, which is very little. So you have a lot of options because you have 17 5Ks and you have 13 10K cards for a ton of counters. So even if you can't get your event card abilities off for countering, you have a ton of stuff. And basically this deck's all about suppressing the board, getting a lot of value from your utility cards, and then just going at it with your slow ramping up. It's nothing crazy, but it's nice and consistent, and I think it's a pretty fun deck. So, if you guys enjoyed, please like and subscribe, all that good stuff. Let me know what you guys think of this particular deck list. What cards would you add, remove, or in general, just let us know your decks, because I would like to see. Maybe we can switch stuff out. But yeah, thanks for watching. Check out for my other deck list and all the duels on this channel, and I'll see you next time. Bye.